My name's Diana Shepherd, and I'm the editorial director of Family Lawyer magazine. Joining me today is Edward Kirk, a family lawyer and the head of North America for Settify. And he's here to discuss using AI to modernize law firms' client intake process. Launched in 2017, Settify is an award-winning AI-driven solution that has seen runaway growth in Australia and the UK, and it's now making its mark on the US and Canadian markets. As a forward-thinking family lawyer, Edward recognizes the need for the profession to move with the times by automating routine but crucial tasks while improving client experience. And he's here to share some of that forward-thinking wisdom with us today. Welcome, Edward.
Thank you, Dana. Thanks for having me.
Edward, you launched Settify before COVID struck. You must have been prophetic. What did you and your team know that we didn't?
Well, the world is certainly more and more online. Back in 2017, what we saw then was that we were already doing a lot of our tasks online with Uber, Booking.com, TurboTax. All of these online tools already set the sort of trend of where consumer behaviors were traveling, and the legal profession was lagging behind. So we thought, in family law, within our own background, how can we bridge the gap? How can we create a tool that allows lawyers to meet clients where they want to be met and free themselves to do the things that only humans can do? Sort of apply judgment, build rapport, and give clients the advice they want.
You call Settify an AI-driven solution. Why is AI needed to gather information about a potential client? Why can't they just fill out a form and request an appointment?
Well, good question. What I would say is Settify is much more modern than just an online form. We use a combination of AI and conditional logic, and what that means is that it enhances the conversation and the experience for the user. So what Settify does is it only asks relevant questions that are personalized, so they feel like they're almost having a human interaction. And what that means as well is that we gather much more detailed answers from them because they're far more engaged. And if we compare that to an online form, what you're getting there is unpersonalized and perhaps irrelevant questions, and people kind of switch off, perhaps provide lazier answers. And the other aspect of Settify is it does something with the data. We create smart documents for the lawyer, including a case timeline and a balance sheet in Excel, so they can start thinking strategically right from the get-go.
What can an AI-driven client intake solution like Settify tell us about modern client behaviors and preferences? Can you share some eye-opening examples and or statistics about today's family law clients?
Absolutely. I think we were talking earlier about the world being more and more online, and one of the things that we can tell lawyers is that of when people are using Settify, we see that clients come to use the system 44% of the time outside of office hours, in the evenings, the weekend. We see a bit of a peak, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So if I'm a lawyer with a law firm, how am I meeting those clients where they want to be met? How am I making sure they choose my firm, and how am I making it easy for them to do that? The other thing is response times. We see that client conversion increases dramatically when firms respond within an hour of that inquiry, up to 95%. After that, you can see that inquiry, the rate of conversion decay quite dramatically. We also ask clients, we survey them about what they look for in their lawyer. And the number one thing they said was that they wanted to understand the legal process they're embarking upon. So client education, and that really comes down to building trust. That's what they want to do. They want to feel like they're in the right hands, and that's something that we built into Settify, so that clients can get their hands on relevant information right at the beginning of when they're looking for it.
As a family lawyer, Edward, you were quick to recognize how Settify could enhance your practice and perhaps offer you an advantage over your competitors. Can you tell us about the features that sold you on Settify and why?
One of the unique features of Settify is that we add buttons to law firms' websites so that it invites people who come to the website to make the first step. So I was mentioning earlier that we see clients come outside of office hours a lot of the time, and that button there gives them it empowers them to make that first step, and thus as they go through, they're more and more invested with that firm. And the other aspect that really made me take notice was just the user experience. It was really it's really quite impressive. And in legal services, clients aren't used to getting their hands on easy to use technology. It's often quite outdated, and so that's something that makes clients feel like they're dealing with a competent organization. For law firms, Settify saves them time gathering background information. And as I mentioned earlier, we give them great documents, which become the first documents on file. So save them time during the life of the matter as well. The other thing that firms really love about Settify is the filtering aspect of Settify that enables them to quickly review an inquiry, filter it, making sure that they prioritize those valuable clients that they want, and also allocate the matter quickly to the appropriate member in their team.
You mentioned user experience a moment ago. How important is a personalized user experience to a potential client's decision to choose lawyer A over lawyer B and to request an appointment?
Yeah, unsurprisingly, it's a big deal. When we survey clients, it was number 2 in the list, above them wanting to have a quick and easy divorce. What's interesting is when we asked that question, we also asked, did you find Settify to be personalized? Even though they knew it to be technologically driven, they felt it overwhelmingly did. And that tells us something about what we think is personalized. We think that's human driven. And so what I would say to lawyers who worry that technology might sort of take away the human touch, it's really not there to replace anyone. If anything, it's there to enhance your relationships and enable you to have better conversations. Because ultimately, clients don't feel better when you ask them about their children's middle names or the value of the family car. What makes them feel better is when you address their concerns head on, right at the beginning, and make them feel like they're making some headway.
Let's talk about conflicts for a moment. So let's say John Smith has just retained or had an initial consultation with you. Without knowing that, his wife Liz goes through the Settify intake process that evening. Now, you can't take on Liz as a client because you've already had the initial consultation, even if he doesn't retain you with John. But what is to stop the system from either booking a consultation or you from seeing all of Liz's personal information, which I presume would be an ethics issue?
Yeah, conflicts is a big question mark that firms ask when we demo the system to them, and we handle it really simply. Taking your example, Mr. Smith comes to Settify, submits their request for an appointment. Gatekeeper at the firm then will run a conflict check, and we provide the parties' names, dates of birth, addresses to do that. They do it internally, as they normally do, come to Settify and indicate if they can act. And up until then, none of the detailed information sits on their server or computer. So Settify has protected them from that. So when Mrs. Smith comes along and submits her inquiry, the firm will have already seen Mr. Smith's inquiry, so they can check, and they'll also have date of birth and telephone numbers and that sort of thing. So they'll know that they've already received Mr. Smith's information. And Settify doesn't enable users to book time in a lawyer's calendar directly. We leave that with a law firm to take that on and book meetings in.
Okay. So let's talk about law firms that have already invested heavily in some practice management software. So that describes pretty much all of them, as I'm sure you're aware. They may be reluctant to install a new technology either because of the cost or the fear that it will conflict with their existing software and cause bugs where there weren't any before. Can Settify be integrated into a law firm's existing practice management software without making it buggy or unstable?
Absolutely, integrations are the way to go. In our minds, at least, we see things connecting like Lego, so that data can move seamlessly between different platforms. And Settify is really complementary to practice management systems in the way that it is client facing. It's doing the data gathering in a really detailed manner, and then we have integrations with Leap, Smokeball, Clio, for example, where that data then feeds through, opens the matter in the practice management system. So there's no rekeying of the information needed. And we'll continue to do integrations with other practice management softwares and make sure that they are robust and also intelligent in the way that we've done them. I mean, talking about, for example, our pricing, we charge a monthly license fee to firms of $99. So that is for the firm, it's not per user. And then a $99 charge per client that uses Settify and retains the firm. So if they don't retain the firm, no fee is incurred. And we find that firms like that because it means that, when we were mentioning earlier the filtering tool, it makes Settify a really helpful tool in that manner to save time. And firms can absorb the fee internally or disperse it as part of a file opening fee.
I like the Lego analogy, but truthfully, how easy is it to install Settify? And does it work with any content management system or CMS platform like a WordPress, Drupal, Magneto, Wix, etc.?
Yeah, so we do all of the heavy lifting ourselves. We know law firms are busy, so we do the design of the application so it looks like a seamless transition from the firm's website. We use their branding, colors, fonts, logos, that sort of thing. So the user thinks like it's this firm's technology. The other aspect is we design buttons that we give to the firm's developers to add on. We can also do that ourselves, but again, we make it nice and easy. And the average rollout time that we have is about a week and a half.
Okay, a couple more facts and figures from you. How many law firms are actively using Settify right now, and how many clients have used it to date?
Well, we have 500 active firms, probably a little bit over now worldwide. We've had close to 100,000 client users use Settify to provide the instructions to their chosen firm. And I think the takeaway there is that Settify has really become the new norm, particularly if we look at Australia, where it's been for a while. Settify accounts for the vast majority of new inquiries with firms. So it really shows the change in the way that clients are now engaging and retaining their lawyers.
Yes, I think it's all about user experience, and you seem to be all about that.
Absolutely.
My guest today has been Edward Kirk, who is head of North America for Settify, a global leader in client intake systems for law firms. Settify was built by lawyers for lawyers, so you know that it's dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. For more information or to book a demo, go to settify.com. That's SETTIFY.com. Thanks very much for being here today, Edward.
Thank you, Diana.